I'm going to step right in the pig shit. Max in Illinois, you are on the line with Jimmy and Matt. Hi, Max.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well, actually. How are you?
Good. I'm just
very happy
peachy.
about this election.
I bet you are.
I'm sure you are. All right, Max, what is the position you're here to present?
You know, that with the current elected president, our country is just going to become stronger, more self-sufficient, and, you know, really great and better than everyone else.
What did you say to the screener, though? Because you said that we'll find out in a minute whether you even know what a tariff is, but you said to the screener that Christian nationalism is better to make the nation stronger and more successful, correct?
Yeah.
Why is that
true?
Why is that? Because it's good to have a strong religion that brings people together, that it should be given a prominent place.
Max, even if you instantiate Christian nationalism, which, by the way, is unconstitutional, that's not going to make me a Christian. And so we're still going to have a conflict between Christian nationalism trying to rule over non-Christians. Why do you, you're opposed to religious freedom, I guess?
I mean, I'm not forcing anyone to be,
that's Christian, what Christian nationalism is. Max, Christian nationalism means you want the laws of the land to be Christian laws, that the Bible and that the Congress should be going to what does God and Christianity say the law should be, as opposed to the law is the law, the government is the government, and church is separate. This is why we talk about separation of church and state. Christian nationalism is the idea of both merging church and state and making sure that that church is Christianity. And that is the view you said you support.
Is this the Max that I said would never be allowed on a show while I was hosting? I think it is.
Max, were you banned and you tried to sneak your way back on?
No, I didn't. He probably didn't.
Yeah, you guys didn't ban me.
Fine.
So
it's fine.
Let me continue.
Keep going.
Are you sticking to that position now that you've had clarified what Christian nationalism is? Because you apparently did not know when you started the call.
Well, my view is that Christian nationalism is giving religion a prominent role in the government. You know, like promoting...
Religion already has a prominent role in the government because Christians and Muslims and anybody of any religion technically can get elected, and their moral values are going to be reflected in the way they vote in a democracy. We're not talking about that. We're talking about making the government say that the official religion of America is Christianity, and therefore the laws of America will reflect Christianity. It is a form of government that does not exist in modern democracies anymore, even in places like England, which has an official quote unquote church, and yet is better at separation of church and state than we are now, because theirs is entirely symbolic. Christian nationalism does not seek symbolism, it seeks enforcement. So are you sitting here saying, Max, I would like the government to become Christian. I would like Californians, no matter the fact that they are a state government, to have to live under Christian rule and the Christian rules as we interpret it regarding whether or not queer people can get married, whether or not people can get abortions, whatever social issue you want to talk about, you believe it should be the law that people should behave within the confines of a Christian interpretation of the Bible, whether they are Christian or not. Is that true or false?
No, that's mostly false. Not all of them.
Okay, then you don't support Christian nationalism. That is what the Christian nationalist movement seeks. Do you believe anybody in the country in any state should be able to get an abortion?
Elective with the restrictions, like 6 months.
Do you believe?
Tops.
Okay, so you believe every 6 weeks tops is the most anyone anywhere should be able to get an abortion? Is your opinion, Max? Right?
Yeah, and then later on.
Okay, so first, no, stop.
Abnormality.
Stop, Max. Hang on. We're just going to start there. First of all, you then disagree with Donald Trump, who is apparently the guy you're stoked to have voted in, who Donald Trump said that the 6 week span in Florida goes too far. And most Republicans are working on a potential 15-week ban, because this is at least a part where most people will agree there is not a significant enough brain activity for any experience of personhood to have begun. And therefore, it's no more alive or dead than any other cell in your body. So you disagree with Donald Trump, but you believe on a Christian basis that we should have a 6-week ban, correct?
First of all, I believe in popular sovereignty and states' rights. My personal
Hey, Max, how about you answer my questions and not
Jimmy
the ones you want to answer?
Jimmy asked you a question, so I'm going to unmute you so you can answer Jimmy's question. Not preach.
I just gave you an
Max,
answer. States' rights.
You're unmuted. You're unmuted.
That's not an answer to Jimmy's question.
You were asked, do you believe there should be a national ban on abortion, or that in individual states people should be able to get abortions in any state? And you said only in 6 weeks. So you are in favor of banning it more at the federal level. To be clear, Max, you, a Republican, want bigger government to tell people what they can do with their bodies, even in California, whatever contrary laws they would want. You would want to restrict California to 6 weeks, and you would do so based on Christian doctrine, correct?
Not from federal government. It's states' rights. The states decide.
You just said, I asked, Max, stop. I asked you, in any state, should the abortions be legal? And you said only up to 6 weeks, meaning you want to stop others. Are you saying you are changing your mind now and you don't want the 6-week ban implemented?
I'm saying how I would vote in a state. But if a state votes majority...
Why don't you answer the question you were asked? Why don't you answer the question you were asked? Why don't you answer the question you were asked? Why don't you answer the question you were asked? Why don't you answer the question? Why don't you stop talking while I'm talking? Why don't you stop talking while I'm talking and answer the question you were asked?
It's states' rights. Can you not comprehend?
It's not an answer to the question. Never mind. I was done with Max weeks ago when I fucking said he wouldn't be allowed to call in on the show. I'm definitely done with this dishonest bullshit of not answering the fucking question that you were fucking. Right. Shut up.
Max.
Yes.
Then now you're saying it's states' rights. So you agree that if in California they don't want to ban it at all, that the Congress and Donald Trump should not put any ban that affects California. If California says all 9 months, no ban, it's between you and your doctor, the federal government should not do anything, right?
Right. If majority people vote so, then let it be so. But I would vote, like I said, 6 weeks.
Nobody asked you how you were going to vote. Not once in any of these calls has anybody said, please, Max, tell us how you vote, because I don't give a fuck how you're going to vote, period.
You're asking what my views on what the government should do. No,
sir. No, sir. I did not ask you how you were going to vote. Jimmy asked you about what you would do, what your view would be on national policy, not about how you personally would vote, but what you think the national policy should be.
And now I have another one for you, Max. Do you believe that gay marriage should be legal at the federal level, that states can decide, or do you think that it should be legal everywhere, or for states to decide whether or not it is legal within their state?
It should be decided on state level.
Whether gay marriage is allowed, correct?
Yes.
Great. So far you have now diverted twice on two of the biggest talking points for Christian nationalists. You have called in to say Christian nationalism is what we should do. And the main proponents of Christian nationalism, being the Heritage Foundation, who are writing the laws, who are writing Project 2025, who are the Christian nationalist policymakers, are trying to do two things that you have said you're against, which is a federal ban on abortion. They will do as much as they can. So if they can get a full ban, they'll go full. If they can get a 6-week ban like you like, they'll go full. They'll go 6 week. And if they can get a 15-week, they will take whatever they can at the federal level. They also seek to overturn the Supreme Court ruling that would allow gay marriage and not return it to the states, but actually restore it to marriage between one man and one woman as a point of Christian nationalism. So far, we are 0 for two on you calling in and saying you are a Christian nationalist or support Christian nationalism, but you actually don't support their two greatest, the things that they are striving for the most, because some of them believe those things are causing hurricanes and shit like that. So let's go with number 3. Would you make Christianity the national religion of this country and make it a test for immigrants that they are in line with Christian values?
National religion, yes, but not a test.
Then what does it mean to make it the national religion?
It means it's an official religion that we swear an oath on the Bible that the president takes the office swearing to.
Should immigrants swear an oath on the Bible?
No, because the oath they give is a civil oath.
So you believe that the president, even if the president is elected by a majority of people and he is not Christian, you who just said you would respect the majority, you would break that, and you would say no. If that president is not willing to is not willing to swear on the Bible, we should cancel the vote and not take the will of the people, because that president isn't being a Christian like I think should be the official religion of the state, of the country.
No, that's a complete straw man. I would like the president.
No, it is. I asked you, a straw man is not a question, Max. I asked you a question. Is that your position, that if a non-Christian is elected as president, they either must swear on the Bible or the election be null and void because they are not a Christian and you've declared this a Christian nation?
No,
Great. Should a president have to be Christian should a person have to be Christian to run for president in a Christian nation?
No.
Great. You're up to 4 tenets of Christian nationalism that you have just broken, all in a row. I'm waiting to find the one. Which of the founding fathers was a Christian nationalist?
George Washington.
Incorrect. George Washington was a Christian. He actually declared against Christian nationalism and that the church absolutely should not be integrated with the state. While he was Christian himself, he was incredibly defiant. Who wrote the Bill of Rights and the Constitution? Mainly.
The founding fathers.
No, which two people? No.
Alexander Hamilton.
No, incorrect.
Get out of musical land and come back to like Madison, Jefferson.
Except Madison and Jefferson were in the musical Hamilton. You actually learn in that they wrote the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
Look, it doesn't matter who wrote the Constitution.
Yes, it does. Hang on a second. Hang on a second.
It doesn't matter to you.
You don't
it doesn't
know
matter
what matters because
hang on. It doesn't matter to you, Max, because you are already willing to set aside the Constitution. The things that you're advocating for are in fact unconstitutional. When you say, well, let's leave gay marriage up to states' rights, why not leave it up to cities to determine?
Why not? I mean, I'm not against it, but it's too much.
Cool. In that case, why not leave it up to should we do the same thing for abortion? Like leave it up to the city?
Sure. In municipality.
Why not? Yes. Now, these are yes or no. These are simple questions. If we're going to leave it up to the city, why not just leave it up to like my neighborhood? Can my neighborhood decide what our view is on abortion?
Does your neighborhood have a clinic? Yes.
I don't need a clinic to have a position in the neighborhood. I've got a homeowners association.
Okay, sure. Yes.
So if that's the case, why can't I just decide for my own household?
Because you're a household. You're not a homeowners association.
Homeowners association is just a collection of households, just like a state. The United States is just a collection of states. We've taken it from the national level down to the state level, down to the neighborhood level. But as soon as we get to, I should be able to choose for my household, now you have an objection? That seems inconsistent.
Max, you only believe in government rights and not individual rights? That's bananas. You believe as soon as you are big enough to have a government, a neighborhood, though a household is a small government as well, you believe that you should not have rights separate from a government that agrees with your rights. That's wild, except for it's not, because what you actually are, Max, yes, it is. Yes, it is. You just said you would take it down to the state level, then you would take it down to the city level, then you would take it even down to the neighborhood level. But as soon as you got to the individual, you said, no, the individual should not have a choice. So you were happy with governments deciding by the will of the people, by the vote or whatever, but not individuals deciding what goes on their body. And this is what you are the typical Trump voter. I have no surprise that you are happy because you don't even know what Christian nationalism is. You don't know that James Madison wrote the Constitution. You don't know that James Madison purposefully made sure that the separation of church and state was in the Constitution. You don't know that Thomas Jefferson was also the second biggest influence on the Constitution.
Did you just say that that's irrelevant?
Yeah, I know. Max, at this point, you're just a tool here. I don't care what you're saying. Okay,
he
Max,
just dismissed it as some old white man.
So, Max, you don't agree that the Constitution matters, correct?
I'm sorry, but I'm an 8.5-year veteran of the United States Navy who fought for the Constitution. I have zero interest in what some fucking dipshit thinks if he's going to throw out the Constitution in order to instantiate Christian nationalism. You don't know what you're talking about, Max. I'm sorry, what did you interrupt that for? I'm sorry,
told you to calm down.
I'm asking you a question, which is, what the fuck did you just interrupt me for?
Calm down. You cannot restore nerve cells. The Constitution is a document.
Okay, fuckface, listen up. The only reason you haven't been banned right now for telling me to calm down, as you shit on the U.S. Constitution, is that Jimmy is still here and might want to talk to you. Otherwise, I'd ban your number, ban your IP address, and I invite you to come over to my house and say that shit to my face. Because while our country is far from perfect, and while the Constitution is not ideal, we do have a Constitution, and you and your dipshit friends do not just get to come in and stomp around and throw out the Constitution because you want to control everybody else's lives and bodies, or you want to allow HOAs to do it, even though they're not government agencies, which proves that you're too stupid to fucking understand how rights go. But don't you dare tell me to calm down on my show, especially when I'm just sitting here trying to get you to stop shitting on the Constitution. Why are you in the United States, Max?
Why? Because I came here. Because I came for the better life.
Okay, but the better life is because of our Constitution that you're trying to throw out.
The government has to change with times. What can I say? You know, it was one thing 200 years ago. It doesn't have
to change. No, sir. You don't get to come over to my fucking country because you want to benefit and then say it needs to change and throw out the fucking Constitution that I fought for.
Is Max a citizen? Max, are you a citizen now?
I don't know if Max is a citizen. I doubt it.
I was always a citizen.
Are you?
I became a citizen.
Right. So why did you today, excuse me, hang on. Why did you today admit that you've broken your oath to the Constitution? Should the U.S. actually take away your citizenship? Because when you became a citizen, you swore an oath to the Constitution. And here you have said that the Constitution doesn't matter, that those are old men, and that you don't believe in the Constitution, which, by the way, includes the separation of church and state. So should they revoke your citizenship since you have broken your oath on the phone today?
That's not what I said. I said it's an amendable document, which can be changed.
Sure, it's amendable, but it's amendable, but you are advocating for laws and getting rid of separation of church and state, which, by the way, something that deeply established and with as much precedent, you would actually have to basically destroy the Constitution to replace separation of church and state, or any of the main amendments. There isn't. Even the Second Amendment probably can't go without the Constitution going, which is why a lot of people have given up on getting rid of the Second Amendment. But you, when you came in, you swore an oath, and so you lied when you affirmed the Constitution, which, by the way, Max,
swore an oath
the separation of church and state. Max, what if Mitt Romney became?
What? I gave an oath, same as you, Matt. which is to
No, you
You
didn't.
gave an oath to the Constitution, which you have broken.
No, you didn't give an oath the same as me. You did not give an oath the same. Okay, here, let me ask you, Max. Did you serve in the United States military?
I gave the same oath as you.
Did you serve in the fucking military, you liar?
Not yet, but I gave the
Then
same
don't
oath as
say.
you.
The answers
No,
are
I
yes
gave
or no,
the-
Max. From now on, Max, the extent that you get to speak in my presence is yes or no. And after that, I shut it all down. You get to say yes or no. And if any other word comes out of your mouth in response to me, I will ban you. I don't care if Jimmy fires me, because you don't get to pretend that you standing up, coming to a country for opportunities, lying and swearing an oath to a constitution that you want changed is the same thing that I did for 8.5 years of service in the military. I'm going to unmute you. And before you say yes or no, you're going to fucking apologize. So apologize for lying about the oath that you took compared to mine.
You want me to say yes or no, or what?
Are you fucking so stupid that when I say other than yes or no, you have to apologize first? Apologize.
I'm sorry you feel offended.
No, that's not an apology, Max.
Fuck off.
Congratulations. I'm taking down your phone number right now.
Matt, I literally have the oath.
Shut
I
up.
muted him. Yeah, there's no point. There's no point in continuing. We've got callers on the line who are waiting. The guy doesn't know what Christian nationalism is, has broken multiple tenets of it when actually asked about it. The guy is in a cult. Let's just be very clear. Max, you can still hear me. You're in a cult. What you know is that you support Donald Trump. And what I would go out on a limb is you also would not accept a black woman as your leader, as your president. You can make certain jumps with these people. And the fact that he knows nothing about the policies that he's supposedly supporting, nothing about the position he's supposedly calling in to defend, tells me that this is just a general person who does not get good information. He has picked a side. Who knows what it is? It's going to be steeped deeply in patriarchy, and that he's just going to say that's the side and that's my side. He has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Every time he opened his mouth, everybody listening got a little bit dumber.
He called in
just
a couple
I'm
days ago
sorry.
to talk about why he's voting third party. I mean, Max, congratulations. I'm going to allow you to say one word that's not yes or no, and that is goodbye. Say goodbye, Max. Never mind. You're too slow.
I'm surprised yeah, that's interesting. I didn't notice the old notes. I would have liked to have known. I'm guessing he's just a fucking contrarian, though. Or he's not. And I'd have to go back and look. Because what I told people a couple of weeks ago was that Republicans are pretending to be third-party voters across social media because they saw that it is easier to convince Democrats to abstain or vote third party than to actually get them to switch to Trump. And Max might have been one of the people who, when he called and was pretending to be a third-party voter, I called out as one of those. I don't remember. I don't know if I was the one on November 1st, but I know that I was calling out those lately. So either he actually did vote for Trump and was one of those fake third-party voters, or he just likes to call in with a contrary position to hear himself talk. Let's hope we are done with those types of calls today.
I was absolutely just wanting to fucking go through and have decent calls about God and everything else. There's a reason why Max shouldn't be calling when I'm on. And that's because Max is dishonest and stupid. And I'm happy that Max managed to come over to a country that was better, but you don't get to make it worse. So I'm in favor of deporting Max for lying. Yeah.
First, we have to revoke the citizenship on the basis that he has broken his oath to the Constitution. We'll be sending that right over to the relevant. No, there's no. He's a Trump voter. He's definitely not going to get deported. They'll keep him. They'll make an exception for him. Thank you for watching that clip. If you enjoyed it, perhaps you should join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
At patreon.com/calltheline.